And we're live.
Okay, this broadcast is live.
Hey, everybody.
Did you say broadcast?
How are we doing?
Listen, you're supposed to drink coffee this morning. There's not supposed to be schnapps in the coffee as you're drinking it, Leo.
Hey, wait. Nobody said nothing about that now.
No, I know.
That's a deal breaker. I'm so
we got to get through the day.
Okay, are we just doing audio? Because I don't see no video whatsoever.
No, we've got a live stream. We're live right now. We've got an overlay here to let people know that this is Geek Out Virtual Con, April 11th through 12th. This is our 2-day event. Somebody's got their mic on or their...
Hey, wait. Nobody.
Yeah, you got your speakers on.
Who's got their speakers on?
We got some reverbing going on at this moment.
Somebody's listening to it.
Okay,
I think that's Leo because I don't see earbuds in. All right.
Leo, do you have speakers?
yeah, I got speakers.
Okay, that's where the reverberation's coming from. Do you have a headset by any chance?
Oh, there you go. I can see it. Hold on.
Great, 10 a.m. and we're waking people up this way on
I know.
reverb.
I'm just putting him on mute. I'm putting him on mute for a second. We're going to send him a quick message to put some earbuds in because we're hearing his speakers.
I think he said
No, just leave it on. Leave it on. Keep talking,
That's
Leo.
not nice.
Keep talking, Leo.
I'm talking to Leo. Leo, put some earbuds in because we can hear your
Oh, this is
speakers.
perfectly.
So
It's the best convention ever. Beautiful.
Well, welcome to Geek Out Virtual Con, guys. We are just getting our coffee. We're just waking up, and this is the first time that the group is kind of together, and we are, kind of working out some of the kinks here. So we expect that there are going to be some technical difficulties. And I know Leo's trying to talk and stuff. Somebody tell him, get some earbuds in.
Yeah, you're still echoing, Leo. If we unmute you, you're echoing. We're getting the feedback from your speakers, your external speakers.
I'm going to send him a message. So, Matt, why don't you go ahead and I'm going to message him. You go ahead and just introduce Geek Out Virtual Con, what we can expect and stuff like that. I'll be right back.
Good deal. All right, well, guys, I'm Matthew, if I can say my own name. Matthew with GeekInsider, of course, and with me is Chris.
No. We have to go first with what you said. So it's Matthew.
Matthew. Now I'm going to be known by that. And we got Christian, the traveling TARDIS.
Yes, sir.
And we got Leo Nacido, which he's working out some technical difficulties. As Meredith said, guys, this is kind of the pre-show. Our first guest is up at the top of the hour. But we wanted to get together, kick this thing off, introduce everybody. Oh, man, and he's already breaking out the toys.
Stay home, be safe, and stay home. This is from the Intergalactic Dalek. Please stay home. We do not want the coronavirus or whatever they want to call it this week on YouTube. Stay home. Stay home.
You almost sound like Robbie there. But guys, we got a lot of stuff planned. If you haven't checked out the schedule yet, be sure to check out.
Look at Leo's face. It is amazing. I'm sorry. I just saw Leo's like, sorry, go ahead. We'll keep going.
Wait, is he not echoing? No, he's
still echoing. I can see the earbuds going on there.
But he was trying to look back to see what that voice was, I think. He's trying to figure that out.
It's yours, dude. Stop it.
Oh, he's getting the earphones out. Yeah, guys, check out geekoutvc.com. Of course, if you hadn't already done so, there is a schedule on there, a schedule of the guests for the day. There's not a schedule of door prizes, though. And remember, you got to be present to win. And so...
Thank you, David. Thanks, David.
All right, guys.
There we go. He's back.
You're still bald. Things have not changed.
Well, he could have glued a wig to the headphones there, and he just, when he put the headphones on, he could have a full set of hair.
All right, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, good.
Okay, I had to confiscate this from a
From somebody playing a game.
Neighbor?
All right.
Robbed a child. Leo robbed a child.
Leo is practicing social distancing as he's grabbing the headset off the individual who's trying to play a video game and now doing a thanks, Leo.
It was muted, so we didn't get to hear the no Fortnite for you. He took the headset. Well, anyway, guys, now that we've got everyone back on camera and back on mic, you are joining us for the first and not the last Geek Out Virtual Con.
Yeah, that's cool.
And, man, we are so excited, guys. This has been a lot of work getting this together. I know Meredith is ready for Mondays to where she can I finally let her sleep. But I got news for her. I got a whole nother project for her after that. So no. See your face.
No peace for the wicked.
That's when we start planning for the next one, right, Meredith? Chris said, "What?
You're hearing about someone robbing children?" Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes,
you see that headset on Leo's head? He's the one. He stole the headset off a child in his household. So there's going to be some more going on over there.
If you don't mind me interjecting, folks,
he's going to be photobombing the event.
I want my headset back. And folks, right now, if you get a chance, please go ahead and share the link, share everything, tell everybody to get on board. This is going to be a fun weekend on Virtual Con, sponsored by Geek Out and everybody that you see here. And we're just going to have a great time. This is going to be, I've never had a Virtual Con. So for a better term, I am no longer a virgin. Leo made that happen with his headset. So just let everybody know that they can participate. Hey, Jason is here too. Yeah. Oh, Jason's here? Okay. Well, hello, Jason, and everybody else who's joining us. So please, there we go.
Not Jason.
There we go, Jason.
This is not Jason.
Well,
you're very depressed about that.
You're Jason now. Adam claimed that
do my best. I'll do my best to be a Jason. Do I have to kill everyone in the room?
Oh, not Voorhees. Man, speaking of Voorhees, my wife and mother-in-law came home yesterday from the store. They weren't supposed to be going to the store, but they both walk in with brand new machetes. Look what we got. And these are, real machetes. And I was like, Jesus, I thought they'd went to a con or something without me. I mean, these were full-on Jason Voorhees machetes. And now I'm kind of a little scared to sleep. Hey, Dina. Oh, there's
that is Mrs. Dr. Freedom. Give a shout out to Dr. Freedom. How do I join this? Do I need to be somebody? Chris, you are somebody.
Yes.
You are somebody, okay? We've already acknowledged this. It's just that we only have enough room in the pool before everybody starts getting wet. That made no sense. Okay, so
whatever.
I mean, the jacuzzi unfortunately is full, and we've spent some time together trying to put this together. So, and we're part of the madness now. But you're part of it. Yeah. Hey, Steven, what's up there? But Chris, you're part of it. I mean, you keep texting, you keep telling people and forwarding this to people, and let them know that they can join in. Please do, so that we can have a virtual con going on over there. This is kind of fun right now.
And guys,
we're just kind of hanging out, guys. And I'm going to give it to Matt so he can do some intros and all that stuff. And then it'll be mayhem.
Then it'll be mayhem. I think it's going to be a bit of mayhem for a little while here.
It's already been mayhem.
Yeah, started with Leo's echo that got us all nice and woke up this morning, and then we're hearing the child crying softly in the background from his
killing it softly with his headset.
But guys, we have a full schedule today. Starting here in about 50 minutes, the guests are going to start coming in, and then it's going to be pretty much back to back all day. With us right now, everybody, why don't you introduce yourselves? Just kind of start up. Well, I was going to say start with Christian, but he's pill popping. So we'll start. Leo, tell everybody who you are, where you're with.
Hello, everybody. I am Leo.
Don't do that.
Of Florida Geek Scene. I'm a cosplay photographer for all conventions in the state of Florida. You know, if you cosplay in Florida, you probably more than likely know who I am because I've taken a picture of you. And if you do.
With or without your permission.
Yes. Oh, come on now. I have manners. I ask first, and then, conventions, large and small. And then I also do cosplayer interviews for the Florida Geek Scene. I contribute my photographs to the Florida Geek Scene and other outlets, like Getty Images and Shutterstock. And then I have a Facebook page called Nocedo Photo, where I post up all my convention photos right then and there. So there you go. Who's next?
Fantastic. Let's go with Christian since he's done popping his medication.
Yeah. Well, what was that? Valium or Percocet?
Allergy pills that I got from Costco. So.
Oh, okay.
Because it's really, I'm doing the eye watering thing. Can't touch your face, can't touch your eyes. So I like doing that. So I'd probably be the person who spreads the virus a little bit more and keeps everybody indoors for a month. Yeah, my name is Christian Mazel. I run the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show as well as the Facebook page. Been out conventions for about 7 years doing panels and such like that. And unfortunately, as funny as it sounds, I don't have the Traveling TARDIS with me in hand. It's been about a couple months. My friend Melanie Dean took a trip to the UK to take the TARDIS boy and to take pictures, and that's when everything went down. So she has the TARDIS sitting in a box at home, untraveling, and I want my son back. So what was it Mel Gibson says? Give me back my son. So he's being protected, and we're having to do some changes I've had to implement now with the Traveling TARDIS. When people take pictures, I've actually got a whole thing of sanitizer, a whole thing of wipes just for the TARDIS alone. It'll be the cleanest object at any convention ever. And the radio show, if you want to catch it, we do weekly shows. In fact, we are going to be recording an interview, which I have to leave around noonish. We have a special guest going on, and we'll announce it later once we've done the recording. But we interview guests, we do reviews of the current series, and we talk about Big Finish. Everything Doctor Who-ish under the sun we talk about. And we do it on a weekly basis, iHeartRadio, KryptonRadio.com. Anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts, you could probably find us and just subscribe to us and download. And you can check us on our Facebook page, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS Radio Show.
Very cool.
All right.
Rob.
I am the underground indie advocating devil, and I came here to panel today and interview some comic book creators and talk about the awesome things that they do create. I run indieadvocates.com, hence the advocating, and now the Underground Advocate as well for underground comics. So I'm doing as much as I can to help comics continue to rise up, even though Diamond has gone away temporarily. Marvel, DC all put their pens down. Indie Comics has not. We're still creating, and we're still entertaining. That's why I'm here.
Good deal. Well, we're glad you're here. That's one thing that gets me. I mean, you would think that the comic book industry would be one of the first ones to shift and start having more of the crews working from home so that we could keep this going. I mean, the small mom and pop shops, they need the new lines of comics. The readers, we need new material to read. And so I would really think that those guys would be some of the first to spin and say, okay, we're going to send you your panels and just kind of rock it that way virtually. I mean, heck, these days, even animated shows are done. I mean, everybody does their voiceovers from home. Nobody meets up in studio anymore. So hopefully, if this continues on too much longer, that we will see a shift toward more of our mainstream comics coming back online, because this is just going to hurt. It's just going to domino and keep hurting more and more folks, including us at this end, the consumer. No new Batman comics, no new X-Men. Meredith,
Don't do anything. That's just it. It's you can still get Todd McFarlane's on Kickstarter giving you guys an action figure that's awesome. He's already made $1 million. So Kickstarter crowdfunding still going strong. So it's proving that you can still have a fan base during this this awkward great pause time that we're in. It's just you have to put the effort in. And Marvel and DC just aren't geared up for this because of Diamond. Diamond kind of screwed them up because they were always dependent on Diamond. And this is going to teach them, like any other business, when you get too comfortable, one thing can ruin it. And we're seeing that with a lot of these businesses. But look at Target, look at Walmart. Look at even the grocery stores. They've all adapted pretty quickly, put up shields in front of the cashiers, figured it out, kept going. How come the comic book industry couldn't do that? How come TV and I mean wrestling, WWE has figured out how to continuously give you a program now. And you got to kind of wonder, did everyone shut down production? Was that really the right thing to do? Because they are extending a pause. And I know everyone will say, well, you have to keep yourself safe. Most of these movies are shot on location, which are far away from most people. Usually it's a closed set. Usually everyone lives on set. Why did they all stop filming? That's going to be a question we're going to ask ourselves in 4 months when there's no new movies, when there's nothing being made and all the television is destroyed for the year. Basically, a lot of the shows are about to announce that they're done with whatever they filmed will be it. Kind of like what we did the year of the writer's strike. And I know we all tried to react, but did we react the right way? Did people slow down and go, well, how can we continue to keep this going in a safe way? I think the rumors are WWE just sequestered their people and had them start living at the convention at where they film. All right, this is your new hotel. We're now going to film and live here. So everyone just be happy in your home. And now they're basically hostages, but there's still a product coming out every week. McMahon goes, go out there now and perform, monkey. But we're entertained. We are entertained, and it's going to keep going. And they're going to be one of the few things that we can say kept going through this. And there's no government trying to shut them down because they get it. And let's be honest, it's horrible. You should all stay inside. I can't wait for the antigen test. I can't wait for the vaccination. That's all awesome. But we also have to think long term. This is going to end. I'm a teacher now. I didn't want to be a teacher. But I am missing my paycheck from Florida. I haven't gotten my teacher's paycheck. But by the end of this, I will be. What is the term when they're locked in for life? What do they call that? They're
tenured.
Yeah. So I'm going to be a senior teacher. So I'm going to hit the road and start just teaching kids randomly at comms. I'm going to be like, I am a teacher. I think Steve dropped his phone.
I have a question for you, and I just wanted your take on this. If you had the Thanos glove on right now and could finger snap it, where do you think you would change the dynamic of things that have taken place? Where would you say, this is the moment you should have done this instead of doing this?
Years ago when humanity started being selfish. If you take away selfishness, this would have never come in. Think about it. China would have cut its borders off. We would have looked at the greater mass as opposed to the few. Thanos maybe was right. Maybe there are just too many people in the world who are selfish.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying, maybe he had a point. Not half the population, but like just the part that didn't protect its people. Throughout the world, there could have been a better reaction. We could have closed our borders off to China. Think about it. We all sat there and made jokes about what was going on instead of preparing. And that became painfully clear when it got out of China. None of us were ready. And that's where we are now. None of us are ready. And I guarantee you this will never happen again. The next time anything starts, that country's getting cut off. Someone will sneeze in America and we'll get cut off for a month. Nope. We're not trusting it. You guys have that American flu. you know, and it's just true, you know, and maybe they'll finally take the flu serious. Maybe we'll finally start seeing better cures for the flu, and maybe we shouldn't shake hands. Maybe shaking hands is a bad thing. Maybe shaking hands, because I mean, how many of you gone to cons and gotten horribly sick and not known where you got it from? I've gotten con crud multiple times, and I'm happy not to shake.
I did that when I was in I went to Texas the one time, and it was just because of the humidity and everything. There was just mold and everything on all the walls, and you know, I was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And I wanted to demand another room because I was like, "Well, they didn't clean it," and they were like, "No, that's just the way it is. It's Texas." And it was like, "All right."
It's part of the decor.
And I went home. It was terrible. I was so sick. But we've got 2 people in the queue. I'm going to bring them in to do a real quick introduction because we are launching this at 10:30 with we've got a panel with small business and marketing. But Steve's in here, and I think maybe he's in a different time zone because he's here an hour early. We're just going to pop him in real quick. And, you know, as we have different seats and things like that, our guests are going to be coming in. Our hosts are going to be coming in. We're going to be kind of going back and forth with all of us so that none of us are here sitting on our chairs for like, I don't know, 16 hours or something crazy like that. So let's pop in Dennis. He's going to be our next guest. And I'm going to pop in. Hey, Dennis, we're going to be right with you. Hold on a second.
Thanks,
Popping
Meredith.
in, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
I think you're like an hour early.
Well, whoops.
Hey, we
Right,
love
yeah.
the enthusiasm.
Yeah. We love the enthusiasm. Steve, the Underpresence starts at 11. Are you in a different time zone?
Yes, it's currently 10:30 a.m. where I'm at.
Oh, okay. So you're at the same time zone. You are actually, we start at 11 with you guys.
Okay.
But I'm actually waiting for Chuck if he's here because we've got a panel for small business and marketing that we've got Dennis here for, and basically, okay. Well, while we're all here, we've got enough seats so that you know you can stay here, stay in the conversation, and then if somebody else pops in, we're going to kick one of us hosts out. Dennis, you want to just introduce yourself and let us know what you do?
Hey, Meredith, how are you doing? Hey, Matt, I see you there. You're looking great. I just want to say hi. Hey. So thank you guys for having me on. It's exciting. I love the funky background you guys got going there. You'll have to tell me the secret to that. That's pretty cool. So introduce myself. I'm Dennis Lewis. I am a storyteller. I am a marketer. I just love to help entrepreneurs, and I'm really excited about being able to talk with your audience today, and talk about, hey, this is tough. It's scary. We're all worried, but there's another side to this, and there is a lot of opportunity right now as well. So it's all a question of how you focus what you're doing, and you really kind of think about taking the right steps to make this as easy as possible, even inside the difficulties that we're all facing. But I can just keep on rambling if you guys want. That's cool too. I could tell jokes, or I don't know. I'm not great at jokes, but yeah, we could take a song.
I like multitasking here.
We could.
Now,
Well, one of the things about marketing, Dennis, is that we've worked together, and you do great things as far as like email marketing, social media and things like that. That's so important for people, especially independents, especially creative people who have a hard time self-promoting themselves, right? So,
Yeah. Well,
what are some things that you recommend that people do in order to promote themselves and get over that hump of saying, "Oh, I'm not that person. I don't want to be that salesperson," because you're very personable.
Well, think about it the other way around. Okay, especially for content creators. You guys, you're creating awesome stuff, and the world needs what you're creating. I mean, think about it right now. There are gazillions of people bored out of their heads, sitting at home staring at screens right now. There is no better time to be a content creator than right now. And if you don't sell what you're doing, if you don't promote yourself, you're doing a disservice to those people. They're going to sit around and be bored. They're not going to. They're going to be pulling their hair out as their kids scream and jump around behind their Zoom calls. They need you right now. So you're doing a service by helping people find you, by actually getting the word out. And that's true for any business. But content creators, I think you have to think about yourself as an entrepreneur. You have to think about that what you do is good for your audience. And if it's good for your audience and you don't push it out there, then you're not doing them a service. You're leaving them to stare off into blank space, being bored off their asses when they could be consuming that wonderful thing that you do. So I don't think there's absolutely anything sleazy about marketing. It is doing your audience a favor.
Very cool. And that's a great way to look at it, Dennis. Like she was saying, especially a lot of folks that are new into trying to market themselves, they are nervous about approaching it. They feel like they don't want to encroach into areas where they may not feel that they're a fit, or they're just not that confident about not so much their art, but just about their marketing skills. Where does someone start with? What's the first step on marketing yourself?
So the first step is, okay, I'm going to give you two first steps. One is going to be eminently practical, okay? And I'm going to leave that one the second one. But the first step, the most important step, is you have to be willing to say no to people. You have to push away the audience that you don't want. Okay, it is so important. Anybody, and especially a creator, you don't want to have everybody consuming your content. You want the right people to be consuming your content. And the only way you can attract them is by repulsing the rest. You have to be ruthless about it. Don't try to be Marvel, okay? Because you're trying, or Disney, you're not going to do that, okay? Unless you're, it's just not likely to happen, okay? And we can all look at that and see examples of where they've all on their faces trying to satisfy everybody when that's not their audience. So if you're a creator, really focus on attracting the right audience, the ones that you really care about, the ones that are really going to love what you do. And piss off the rest. That's okay. And don't be bashful.
Beat them.
Bashful marketing sucks. Okay, it doesn't work, and especially on a small scale. You cannot be bashful and shy. And now for the second part, the eminently practical thing that you must do. If you don't do anything else, build an email list. Okay. Build an email list and mail the hell out of it every day, 5 times a day if you want. If you've got something fun to say, don't worry about people leaving. Don't worry about unsubscribers. It doesn't matter. Those are the people you don't want. So be fun, be engaging, make what you have to say really appeal to that core audience you want to reach, and then let the rest go. And don't worry about it. And just, if you only do one thing, build the best email list you can possibly build. Hey, and I think I ended up here kicking everybody off. I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking to myself. Everybody's
the king of the universe.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, you're back. I thought, man, this is my show now. This is the Dennis show now.
We were all going to leave one by one quietly.
It was that boring, man.
No,
it was that boring.
No.
Dennis is the one holding the But we have Terry here who says you can't be all things to everyone, and that's true. And I think the important thing about marketing is that you have to know who your audience is. And maybe, Dennis, first of all, just tell us where we can find you. And then also, if you could address that, the thing about being all things to everyone. I personally think it's impossible. You can't, but I'm going to give that back to you, and you're going to get the big screen again.
Oh,
we'll just heckle in the background.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was talking about when you said you can't be everything to everyone, and you're not going to be. It's always going to be a personal conversation that you're having with your audience. You've got to think about what you have to say as being inside their head, having a conversation with them. And you want to make them laugh, you want to make them cry, you want to make them get angry, you want to make them happy, and all at the same time. And you want to make them really feel who you are. Okay, if you fall into somebody's hands and a marketer and they say, "Oh, you've got to be building a brand," man, show them the door. Okay, you are not Nike, you're not Coca-Cola, you're not building a brand. You're building a relationship. You're building a relationship with an intimate relationship with that core audience, and that means that you're not going to build a relationship with the rest. I could tell you really a story, a real true story about this. And I think this is a great place to tell this story. I was once on Good Morning America. I was on the New York Times. I got trashed literally in prime time by Bill O'Reilly on his show for a project I was running. We generated in this project $7 million worth of free publicity practically overnight. And the reason is we had a product that was truly spectacular. It was truly revolutionary, and it was very controversial. So I was working at the time for a really small Spanish doll manufacturer. They made dolls, and they've been making dolls for 100 years. And they made the world's first breastfeeding doll. And it was a very serious project, and it was, child pedagogues, and it was thoughtfully done. It was really built around the idea that why do baby dolls come with plastic bottles when that isn't the right way, the best way to feed a baby? And so the doll came with a little halter top, and when you put the doll up to the halter top, it had flowers on it, and the doll would suckle, and then you could burp it, and it was really cute, and it was a very unique project, and we knew from the very beginning that we had an audience that was going to love that project, and we had an audience that was going to hate it. Okay, and so we weren't timid. We went out there, and we stuck it to them, and we got trashed. It was amazing. I was on radio stations all over the country. I was literally on, I was on CNN, I was on Fox, I was on just you name it. I was there with this project, and we rode an amazing wave. And then the next year we rode the same wave again, and we sold every doll they could manufacture. Okay, but the reason behind it was because we knew who our audience was. We knew there was a core audience of people that believed in what we were doing, and what we were doing is right. Okay. And we also knew that there were a whole bunch of people that were going to say, "Oh, this is outrageous. It's sexual. It's all these, it's pedophiles. It's, they were just tearing their garments and pulling their hair and saying all sorts of nasty stuff." When at the time we said, "Well, look, a Bratz doll is much more sexual than this baby doll. This is a beautiful little baby doll." There were various versions. There was a African American. There was an Asian baby doll. There was it was really well done. And the reason I'm telling this story is because it's a really good example of how to do marketing that really connects with a core audience. We didn't care that we were pissing off a whole bunch of people that thought it was terrible, because we knew the people that wanted this product were going to come to us, and we're going to rally around it, and they were going to buy. And that's what happened. So from a small business, a creator point of view, it's really important that you take that attitude. You can't be, if you've got to sit there with a AK-47 in your lap because that's who you are, do it. I would never do that. That's not who I am. I'm the guy with the funky wallpaper. But that being said, you know, don't be afraid of who you are and what you have to say. And if you are authentic and you really connect with that audience, you're gold. It'll work. You will, you know, people will follow you and they will buy your products and they'll be happy with what you have to offer. That's my little
that. I'm gonna bring Chuck in. Chuck Fresh from Indie Originals and the Underpresence. He's here, and he also is a marketing guru. Fresh, so fresh.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy to be here. Proud to be among such amazing talent right here, man. Unbelievable.
Well, we're glad to have you,
Jake, right?
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah,
man,
I thought you were talking.
Are you in the Millennial Falcon? Are you in the Millennial Falcon?
Yeah, I'm up in space because that COVID shit's fucking everything. I'm not going anywhere near Earth right now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
you gotta go where you need to go. You know what I'm talking about?
The outer rings of Saturn, right?
Wherever, man. There's crap up here too, but nothing like what you guys are dealing with. So, yeah, I was just listening to Dennis. I came in the mid, and I thought you were talking about a sex doll for a minute, and I was really interested because I have like 10 of them here. You know,
I actually remember that doll, Dennis, and I remember the marketing on that thing. And yeah, I remember the controversy on that.
Is it like a full woman, like a mom type size thing, or?
No. It was a little baby doll. Yeah,
Oh,
it was a
wow.
baby. Yeah, it was for just like any kind of a baby doll.
Wow.
And the
Little girl.
That went sideways fast.
Yeah, man. I came in the middle. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
that was precisely but that's fine. That was it. You know, that there were people that were taking it the wrong way and they were attacking us, and we rode that way, and we let them do it. That was every time they would troll us, we would get more orders in, we would get more publicity, we would get. So that is, you know, and not every product you can do
well,
the same way.
Jake and I, with this whole Indie Originals thing, we have to attack it because, you know what, as we've seen in the media, even in politics, everyone's getting dirty now. You can't fight nicely anymore because no one listens to you. So Jake and I were like, you know, we started off this Indie Originals thing. We were like real quiet, real kind of laid back and almost shy and very like, I don't want to say almost like Christian, you know what I mean?
Violent.
We were afraid of upsetting anybody. And the more we learned, people were ignoring us. And we started to change it subtly, you know, and we came out a little more with an angry voice and a little more in your face. And man, you're absolutely right. You really got to get their attentions. And sometimes you just have to flip the whole campaign negative just to wake people up. And it's unfortunate, but these are the times we live in now. That's where we're going now. Flip the whole thing upside down and we're going completely negative. And I hate that. It goes against everything I believe in, but it's working.
Well, but you can do the other way around as well. If everybody is, you know, if your market is really angry, then you can be the voice of calm and stand out.
We try.
So it's, you don't necessarily have to be, you know, but you can't be insipid. Okay. There's nothing worse than being insipid and being, you know, who cares?
There's a way.
If you're going to be boring and you know, and calm, and you know, that's just probably not going to get you stand out enough in today's market to get you noticed.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Jake walks around. Jake's 8 feet tall, 11 feet tall.
I am.
He walks around with guns.
I mean, that's a top hat you're wearing, right? That hat is literally half a yard high, right?
No, that's his head.
Yeah, that's probably.
Now he's got the hat. Okay, now the hat's back on.
But yeah, he gets in trouble once in a while walking around with guns. But I'll tell you what, it gets people's attention. And this guy, he's got more organic followers than anybody I've ever met in my life.
That's online, right?
What's
stalkers?
He does have stalkers coming to his house.
Oh yeah.
I have stalkers at my house too.
No, I know.
He put a picture of toilet paper on social media, and everybody lined up in his house. Thought he was giving.
All the guys came up. They're like, "Yo, man, you got a TP." I'm like, "Yo, that's $1,000 a roll."
Yeah.
I got this hammer here. You see the blood right there?
You got to do what you got to do. You know.
Yeah, you got to kill these guys, man.
So indie marketers, I don't know if you guys are having the same problem. I'll just jump in here. Indie marketers are the worst fucking marketers in the world.
Yes, they are.
You know what I mean? No, I'm talking about there's two frame. I mean, the first thing we need to do, and maybe you guys could help with this too. This is our main campaign right now. Like the major labels have hijacked the term indie.
They definitely have.
You know what I mean? So like
Yes.
these indie movies have budgets of $700,000. That's not an indie movie.
They're
And
not
these
indie films.
bands, right? They're released on an indie label, which is a sub label of a major label, and they're just hijacking this indie thing. So now we have all this fucking confusion, this mass confusion between these people who are saying they're indies but aren't really. They're really major label acts with the indie moniker, and us real indies who are trying to break in, and they're ignoring us and paying attention to them, and that's not fair. And so we're trying to re-lasso that indie term back, and it's the
We're stealing it back.
the hardest thing I've ever done is we're pretty much being ignored or was trying to do that. And that's why we're going to need to build, you really have to spend a crap ton of money to get people's attention to really try to do that. And I think we're fighting an impossible battle, but I'm hoping somebody picks up on it. You know, and the other thing too is the real indie people are terrible on social media. Most of our marketing, you guys probably agree, most of your marketing is all on social media now, right? You say most of us are on social media. That's where the majority of our dollars are going. If you're spending anything,
That's how we roll. Yeah.
It almost has to, because you've been cut out of the big mass media. So, but the algorithms that all the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, it's based on, and I'm trying to figure this out. And every time I come close to figuring out, they change the thing on me, but it's based on the number of followers you have. And then it's based on the engagement of the post that you put out there. And they check the number of followers versus your engagement. And if that's a low ratio, they're not going to show your post to a lot of people. So a lot of these people, a lot of these
to be honest, that's what they want you to think. It's mostly a function of how much money you spend.
It's part of it too, but the organic stuff,
especially, there is no organic on Facebook anymore. There is no organic on Instagram. There is no organic on.
That's not true, Dennis. I disagree with you strongly. I think
it is.
I get a lot of engagements on some of my posts, the ones that artificially inflate my engagement.
We
artificially inflate our engagement. I actually opened a company that sells engagement. It's gotten that bad now. I have a secret company. I can't tell you what the name of it is. It's all cash. We do file a tax return. We are legit that way, but it's a company that sells engagement because nobody else does it. These indie marketers are terrible. I mean, even the comic book people, the music people are the worst.
Yeah. The music people are the worst.
Yeah, and you got to support each other. I mean, all of us have to support each other. We should be commenting, liking, and sharing each other's posts. And that raises up the algorithm, and then they show your post to more people. And that's basically free marketing, but it's based on the algorithm. But you're right, Dennis. I mean, you have to spend a lot of money if you want mass eyes. There's no other way around that.
Yeah, there's really not. I mean, it used to be much easier to get organic traffic, just like it used to be easier to get organic search traffic.
Right.
You know, until the whole SEO industry, you know, blossomed to game it, and now you kind of just it's almost, you know, it's almost worthless for smaller companies to even try right now, especially in big markets.
You're right. Yeah. What have you guys found success with?
Well, on top of what you just said there, Chuck, it's when I started the Traveling TARDIS 7 years ago, and we did oh, hi, I look like Matthew. There we go.
Sexy beast, you.
Put Matthew back. It was much more
clones.
Better. Yeah. When I started the Traveling TARDIS 7 years ago, I put out a picture. I'm not kidding you. I would have like 1,000 likes on the picture and 500 new people join up. One picture, just one. Simply easy. And you've seen the pictures. I mean, they're kind of entertaining, and people would jump up.
Some of the pictures sexy, man.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And then later on, like today, if I put out one picture, maybe 20 likes and maybe one new subscriber. But it's just like, okay, there's a difference. And I know Facebook is trying to make money, and it's a catch-22. You feed the beast so that you can be seen, or you're
working harder now.
You're working harder, not smarter. But the problem is the game's rigged, so you can't work smarter unless you have the financial means. And like you said, exactly. When it comes to indie projects, it should not be $700,000 per movie. It should be $7 per movie. And if the scene calls, you're going to be filming in Paris. You find this, alleyway behind the Publix, and so that's Paris, France. Or you green screen it. But yeah, That's the thing. It's lost its novelty, for a better term. I don't want to use that term,
trying to
but
come up with a different name for it. Maybe you guys have some ideas, but we need to maybe it might make sense to just rebrand it and call it something else, but I can't figure out a better word than indie.
bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Underground.
Yeah.
You know, I would say though, that what you guys are talking about with social media, there is an obsession with social media. You guys should be building email lists. An email list is traffic when you want. It is yours. You can take it anywhere you want. You can communicate one-on-one with your followers every day, 5 times a day if you want. And every time you send a message,
my email list.
You know, every time you send a message, it's in their inbox. Okay. They may not read, they're not going to read them all. Of course not. They're going to read some of them, but that's fine. It's at least it's like owning a home or renting a home. Yeah. You know, your email is your property. It's like having a website or having a Facebook page. Well, Facebook can turn your page off anytime they want. Yeah. But your website is yours. Okay. Sure, you may have
point to want to give you the email address, and that's the trick here.
Yeah,
you used to be able to buy these lists, but these lists are worthless now.
Yeah,
no, but people will love. There are many ways to make people want to give you their emails. Okay, it's a question of what you give in return. Yeah. Give them something really cool for that email, you know, and then make your emails really good. Make your emails really good. You know, put as much effort into your emails as you do into other things you create, and people will flock to your email list and they'll enjoy them.
When I sign up on email lists, I mostly give them a bogus email that I never even search or look at. So I wonder how many people do that. Because I know I do that.
You're a marketing guy. I do the same thing too. I don't want all that crap. Yeah, but most people, I think, give their real email address.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are ways to try to. You can clean email lists, and you can make sure that there's ways there are tools and systems to make that process better. Yeah. And it really doesn't matter, because if somebody gets on your email and they're not reading it, then you just kick them off your list and you just keep getting new people on your list.
Or you make a post and you scream, "If you're not a true fan, get off my email list now!" Like somebody else would work.
Well, Chuck, I gotta let you guys know, I found a gold mine. I didn't accidentally, but I went Jake, we told people we wouldn't tell people, okay? I mean, come on, that was a I went into my medicine cabinet, opened up the glory, and I'm assuming Amazon says this is at least worth $1,000.
Oh man!
So I'm campaign
right there.
Wait a minute, that's kind of cool. What's going on with my screen? Look at that.
Right?
I can see.
Yeah, there's something there.
I like it.
That's gold right there.
Oh, because the stuff screen. That's why. I got you. Okay. All right. Yeah. So this is funny.
Magic. Sell it that way, man. Magic.
Traveling TARDIS project.
That's why it's worth $1,000 a bottle, right? I mean, the one I have doesn't do anything cool. It just kind of sits there.
So how do we get people to engage more with our posts to try to get organic engagement up? So I know Jake, you've seen some of my stupid Facebook posts. I'll post like a dumb joke. Yes. And I'll get like 100 and some comments, some angry, some not. But then it keeps like 2 weeks later, I'm still getting comments, so they're still showing it.
Yeah.
So how do you get people to, and those are the ones that you need comments. There's comments, likes, and I think shares. I'm not sure what the order is. I believe it is shares and then comments and then likes. But I'm sure they're tweaking that all the time too.
They're constantly changing that.
Yeah.
Another big engagement is how long they watch the videos you post. So how many seconds they're watching. Yeah. Do they stop scrolling? Yeah.
Like Facebook's now 3-minute long videos, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't trust Facebook for the same life. Even if you get a subscriber to your Facebook page, how do you know that's really a subscriber?
It's a bot.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, are they padding the numbers so that they can make sense? Because I'm like, you would search the person.
It makes no difference right now. Really, the number of followers is irrelevant now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, I think it matters in the algorithm, because if you have low engagement and a high follower number, I think that brings you down a little, because that's hurt a couple of my projects. Back in the day, 3-4 years ago, when it was a big thing to buy followers, I bought a shit ton of followers on a couple of my projects. They did really well for a while, and then all of a sudden the engagement was down and they kind of fell off. So I have these accounts with 10,000 followers and no engagement. And no one's paying any attention to it.
Now, what are some of you guys doing for like your local markets? Like, are you getting any advertising dollars from, let's just say, like your downtown Orlando businesses or any nearby towns?
We can get shit for indie originals, man.
I know we got one.
No,
not even $10 for that. But then Bolka's got like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, Bolka's did really well because it was you had a product that everybody understood. They were going to see their ad on a movie screen.
Mm-hmm.
So they understood that, but they didn't understand what we were doing. No. We didn't really understand it the first year.
No.
I wouldn't have invested the first year. It would have been nice to have some of the people who did, like the big guys, like CD Baby and Full Sail University. All these people say, yeah, we'll support you. We'll come out and do that. And then we come out, hey, we need the money. And like, oh, yeah, we don't have a budget for it this year. You know what I mean? The relevant people who understood exactly what we were doing, they failed us in the last minute.
Yeah.
That's
a good question. I don't mean to cut you off there, but we do have people who've been typing in. I wanted to see if we can go ahead and respond to them. Jen Hogan's been all there. CyberCon says hi, and they're going to be next weekend. Can't wait for that one as well.
CyberCon!
CyberCon. Jen Hogan says that's better. How do we know if they're reading it or not? So, Jen, yes, we're reading it. I don't know if you can see the post when they come up over there, but there you go.
Hi, Jen.
Terry says Jen and I are working on an email for Kitchen Killers. I think it's helping open doors. How about you, Jen? And Jen says it does open doors for a business, but not sure how about fans. So what do you guys say on that one for our folks who are there?
Emails? Is it email she's talking
I'm not. I don't specify. Jen, can you give us a specification? Can you type in a message what you're specifying there? I'm assuming it's for the emails.
Man, I totally agree. I think that emails are the way to go. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, once they give you your email, it becomes super fan.
Yeah. We're trying to collect. We got on that boat late. I didn't think they were as important. I failed in that respect a couple of years ago, but we started collecting once we figured out they were as important as they are.
Okay. I mean, how do we know if people are reading an email? Are reading our emails or not? That's Jen.
They have something called, there's like tracking systems where they actually put like an invisible, is it a GIF in there or some kind of image?
Yeah, well, there's pixels, there's all sorts of different ways of measuring that. But I would say, if people are actually doing what you're asking them to do in the email, then they're reading them. Right. Your emails need to be fun, they need to be engaging, and they need to have a call to action. Yeah. You want your people to do stuff. So if you tell them, buy this, or you tell them read this, or you tell them go to Amazon and leave me a review, or do whatever it is you want to do, and they do it, then they're engaging and they're reading them. You really want people to want to read your emails. Okay, that's how good they need to be.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Something to get people's attention too, to engage in them and allow them to draw their attention and keep them engaged.
You do that with the subject line, or you do that with a picture? I mean, there's a lot of
subject line is really important. The copy, the text that you write, it's what you have to say, and if people pick up if it's you, especially if you're. You want it to have your voice, and you want your voice to come through, your personality, who you are, because people will connect with you. They will feel who you are, and authenticity, it works. People feel it. They know it. They can't. You can't fake it. You can't. You can't bullshit people. If you bullshit people, they will know, and they will ignore you.
I got a question. So when does your product, when it comes to social media posting, where is the fine line so that people don't think you are spamming?
Has to be relevant. There has to be relevance while you're posting it. From a comic book point of view, I'll have to disagree with Dennis. Branding is very important. You have to have a brand. You have to be known for what you do. If you're not known for what you do, you might as well give up and go home. Because by knowing what you do, by being a brand, you get promoted into different groups. People talk about you. They spread who you are. You yourself, I mean, look at the banners behind me. That is branding. There's no way you don't go to, and even you, a Christian, with you being a traveling artist, that's a brand that you have taken international. If you don't have a brand and brand recognition, You don't go to a Comic-Con and get noticed. You're the person on your phone texting all day because no one paid attention to you. I can't tell you how many different cons I go to where people come up to me right away and know the branding behind me and go, I've seen that. I know who you are. So you have to be relevant. If you keep putting out the same message, like people with Kickstarters blow my mind because they do the same message for 30 days and wonder why no one's engaged them for 30 days, not realizing that the Facebook bots have noticed it. So now you're spamming. So now you're being taken down. It's the same message every day. Yeah. You have to not put a URL in the message. You can't put Kickstarter in your message. You can't say crowdfunding in your message. In your top thing, it cannot mention any of that. And you can't sound like you're pandering. So you have to talk about your product. You have to introduce new characters. You have to show new art. You have to engage your audience. You have to excite them to make them want to hit share and want to comment on it. Every time they comment to what Chuck was saying, when they're commenting, that is something good. The problem with being viral or trying to cause debate is now Facebook looks for negative responses. When people begin to fight in a conversation, you wind up having that conversation begin to be hidden. You guys ever notice that you've been in the middle of an argument with someone and suddenly you don't get at all any response?
No, mine
and
get
then you
more
just
popular.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is new. This is what's been happening lately. You go back and you look at it, and there's 35 comments. You're not being shown the updates because they don't want you fighting anymore. They're trying to break us up. And if you notice, what they're trying to make us do is go into groups. That's to separate us. If they're separating us and not keeping us together, we'll argue less and there'll be less feedback that's negative. Because they want a positive experience for everyone. And the way they find they do that is to create echo chambers. That's why they're pushing groups right now. They want us all to play in our own play box so we don't fight with each other. Because their Facebook acts a little bit like mommy and daddy, and they just don't want to hear it. They don't care who's right. Shut up or I'll turn the car around. That's Facebook's new motto. So your message also has to be positive now on Facebook for it to rise and for it to be shared. I think you'll see less and less viral complaining go away, but that doesn't mean email lists don't work. But you can't send 5 a day, or you could wind up getting breaking spam laws. So that's a new thing too. You have to watch about breaking spam laws and them coming for you for spam laws, because those are new and they're only getting more intense constantly.
You have to make it very easy for your audience to unsubscribe.
Mm-hmm.
There's
you can't hide that. As long as people voluntarily get on your email list, you can mail them as often as you want. As often as makes sense for your market and for what you have to say. Don't send them boring messages just to keep pounding them. But if your emails are different, they're fun and they're engaging and they're what your audience wants to hear, then you can mail as often as you want. But you do need to, you do need to make it very easy for people to leave, and you shouldn't get upset. I mean, when people leave, that's great. They weren't going to buy from you anyway.
But remember, they can also mark your stuff as spam. So you have to be careful about that too, because that grade matters. There are many creators who wind up in a spam folder because they've sent out too much stuff and someone's gotten aggravated. And instead of hitting unsubscribe, they said, oh, I see this guy too much. I'm just going to put him in my spam folder. I'm just going to put him in my spam folder. And then suddenly that's a problem for you.
True.
Because now your email list is going to everyone's spam folder. So there are things to be careful of.
Let me interject this because there's been a lot of chatter in the chit chat thing. 7 years ago when I started this, I had to literally beg people to take pictures with the TARDIS. 7 years later, going on 8, now I walk into a convention, somebody sees me. There's not even a hi. It's Christian, where's your TARDIS? I want to take a picture. I mean, it's the product, if itself is something that people deem worthy of it, yes, they will pursue it and look at it. But let me go ahead and get into the chat. Graham Cross says, Google Analytics. He asked that question. Jen Hogan, our good friend from the Kitchen Killers. What about Patreon? Terry McLeod, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm going to say Terry. I've seen some really good shows get 10 viewers, while someone sitting in front of their camera without even talking has 14 plus viewers. And then Jen says, yes, I have been in Facebook jail many times by sharing posts. And Jen, I can attest to Facebook jail. The food is horrible.
Also, the whatever Facebook uses to count users doesn't always work. There's something, especially lately, wrong with it. I've been on Brian K. Morris's show and he gets a strong audience. There's a guy who gets it, and he'll be on, I think, the program today, later on in the novel section. He gets 15 to 20 people every show he does sitting there. He is one of the few people I've seen have a steady line. Lately, it's showing 2 viewers, and you see 7 to 10 people commenting constantly. So I don't know if the views are actually being watched right, but to answer the question, if it's working, that's just good marketing. That's someone who's got a fan base. I mean, you look at even Van Skyber, who's on doing Cyberfrog right now, and I know he's controversial because of Comicsgate. Yeah, I know, but he's also got 4,000 people backing his comic book. We don't see that, and then everyone's so impressed with that, and then the next day, like a week later, Todd McFarlane comes out, and we're like, Ethan Van who? Look at what Todd McFarlane did, $1 million for an action figure. Oh my God. And that's on Kickstarter. So there's money out there, and it's all about the fan base that you can excite. You got to tickle them to get them excited. And how are you tickling them? And that was the clean version of the tickle joke. But Patreon, I don't know. I've heard Patreon doesn't work. Any of you guys have a different feeling for that?
I think if you've already got an established base, I think it'll work for you. But if you're just starting out, you're going to be.
I think if you're a hot chick, it works.
Yeah, that is.
I'm not. I wish I were.
I know. You know, I'm a hairy dude.
I went to a surgeon. They said, "Don't try."
We're going to hire a couple and try it out. Actually, as part of our. We'll tell you how that went next year.
I've seen people that run from YouTube channels to Patreon, and they're able to grow because they grow their YouTube channel with free content, and then they incentivize people to come to Patreon. Not necessarily in the comic book industry. I don't really know that much about it, but I've seen that work, and they're able to generate reasonable levels of income through Patreon. So it can be done, but I think you need to really think about the funnel and how you're attracting users first to get them into your fan base. And then, the core people that, really believe in what you have to do, then yeah, maybe they'll give you some money through Patreon.
Fantastic. Well, guys, we have already used up this hour really quickly. Dennis, pardon me. It's really good to see you again, bud. And
yeah, man, I'm glad to see you. You look great.
Well, you do too. I appreciate you joining us. You stay safe. You're still over in Spain, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm under severe lockdown in sunny Mediterranean Spain.
Well, we're still on lockdown here in Texas as well, bud. So you ain't missing nothing back at home. I know we got one of your friends coming tomorrow, I think, or maybe it's later today. I forget. I got to look.
Yeah.
There's so many people. But tell Tony I said, hey, really appreciate it. Dennis, is there any plugs that you want to give? Any websites or anything that you want to?
Yeah, if people want to come to greenlight.digital, they can find us there, greenlight.digital. And yeah, there's my Twitter handle there, or you can find me on LinkedIn. It's probably the best place. You can find me with Dennis H. Lewis there. So I'm easy to find. Look for the guy with the funky wallpaper.
Well, thanks so much, Dennis. And
thank you. Thanks a lot. It was a lot of fun. Hey, thanks guys for being on there.
Take care. All right, let me bring Jake back in. I just kind of rudely just threw him out of the room a while ago, and now that everybody shifted around, and it made me. There's Jake. All right, and then it's just Meredith that's missing. She's AWOL.
Matt,
go ahead.
I'm going to jump out because I'm up in an hour, and I just want to go do some quick, looking at some of the guests that I have on in an hour that I don't know. So I want to do some research. So I'll catch up with you guys at noon.
All right, appreciate it, Rob. We'll see you then.
See you guys later. Nice meeting Chuck, and to the ones I know, hello, and I'll see you later.
Thanks, man.
Thanks so much, Rob. And all right, now we've got the Underpresence. Switching from marketing, but keeping some of the same guys on here, man. And I'm a big fan of the paranormal. I don't watch a whole lot of the shows because these days, too many of them come across as fake to me. It's every little freaking dust flake that goes by. It's, oh my God, there's a spirit.
But they had faces.
yeah, they had faces. But why don't you guys take over? Tell everybody what it is that the Underpresence is, what you all do, what you're about. Let them know.
Jake, you want to do this? Or you want me to do it?
You do it, because your voice is velvety.
Okay, well, we started the show
All right, so we wanted to do something different because, like you said, all these other shows, a lot of them they're bullshit. A lot of them are fake. A lot of them are boring. So we wanted to say, how do we do a paranormal investigative show and make it different? How do we put a slant on it that makes it a little more interesting? And we said, Jake and I were talking, like, we should come up with these crazy characters. And we're thinking about like, well, that wouldn't work. And then I was like, why wouldn't it work? I mean, it's basically a cross between a documentary, a reality show, and a drama. So we call it, what do we call it? A drama-mentary?
Drama-mentary.
That's right.
Drama-mentary. Yeah, it's like really never been done. Not that I'm aware. I'm sure somebody's done something like that. So Jake and I come up with these characters, and Jake is an ex-priest, and last season, I played an active priest.
Jesus.
And I'm also a medium.
¿Qué pasó, Jesús? ¿Dónde está? Yo necesito mi hermano.
We go through all this crazy stuff. We filmed 6 episodes and some other stuff behind the scenes too, some other behind the scenes stuff too. And with our investigator, Steve Persky. And I think we came up with something that's really interesting and a little bit different. And all our results are completely legitimate. Yeah, we see, Matthew, we see some of the orbs and stuff, and we went a little crazy in the first couple episodes with orbs. But our EVPs are mind-blowing. I mean, stuff that Steve's heard. Right? Some of this stuff is so clear and it's intelligent. It's actually responding to our questions, which I've never heard on any paranormal investigative show.
I mean, how they made fun of our faces.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Steve's got some stuff. Steve, you've seen some stuff in the last couple of months.
Unbelievable. I mean, stuff you just cannot debunk. I mean, as much as we debunk and try to rule out things, some things are just there.
We try. We actually we were going to do a 4-stop show before this coronavirus bullshit kicked in.
I know.
We're going to do 2 in St. Augustine, 1 in was it Savannah, and then 1 maybe in
Charleston.
Charleston. Yeah, we were going to go all over, but then we got shut down and our hotel stuff.
Production killed.
I think
Savannah's supposed to be like one of the hottest or the most haunted cities in America.
Yeah,
that's what we hear. So yeah, we had that all set. We're going to go back up there when this thing's all done and do that. But yeah, the stuff that we've got in these kind of like not really haunted places that we found here in Melbourne, with the exception of Ashley's restaurant, which is Steve's hangout.
Hot zone.
Just unbelievable results on video, audio, and in person too. Unbelievable.
What's the freakiest EVP that you guys have caught?
Steve, why don't you take it?
Well, in my opinion, we were at the Hale and Blazes Brewery in Melbourne, and in the vault room, they have a little case in the back where
that is freaky as hell.
Yeah, they dug up artifacts in the ground, and they have these artifacts.
Especially that condo.
We got paranormal and murder on the voice. Yeah. And we had these little, while I was doing the dowsing rods, we caught on camera these little white speckles of light that were traveling upwards.
So you know what's funny about that is I caught an EVP at the same time that said happy birthday. And
yeah.
It was right in between my birthday and Felicia's birthday.
Yeah.
It was like it wished us a happy birthday and showed us fireworks. I mean, everybody's like, "That's dust."
The fireworks going right upwards.
Traveling dust.
Yeah,
right.
That was awesome.
Man,
me. But the worst one, the funniest EVP or the weirdest EVP I've ever, not the funniest one, was we were at Rec 225 over in Cocoa.
Yeah,
and it's kind of metallic. It sounds a little weird, but it says we were asking, "Did you murder Ethel Allen?" We were asking, Ethel, we were trying to we were asking, Ethel Allen, right? And Ethel Allen comes through in like this weird robotic female voice, and she says, "William did it." And
that was like
twice.
Yeah,
twice. She said, "William did it." William, and then she said, "Murderer." Did you hear that, Steve?
Yes.
It's kind of hard to hear, but.
And then it went 666, the 3 6s.
Oh, that's pretty weird too.
Our meters were both spiking at 66.6, and the temperature was in a room that was much different than what our meters were picking up.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, we put 2 right next to each other. It's really weird. And then the guy comes through and says, "Hello." In Casadega, we got some weird stuff too. Remember?
Yeah.
Somebody came through. I said, "What is your name?" And it said something like Mitch or Rich. And I said, "Is you say Mitch or Rich?" And he comes through like a second later and says, "Mitch." That's an intelligent response, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Bizarre.
freaky.
Or what about Comic-Con seats?
Yeah, Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And they said our names. We have our names, and they said
Yeah.
some bad words too, which I put in the best of.
I don't know if you guys can see the chat, but Meredith just asked, Steve,
Yes.
what's the coolest piece of equipment that you have? Keep it clean, Jake.
Oh, man. I mean, I got thousands of dollars worth of equipment, but I would say between the SB11 Spirit Box, the thermal cam, and the 360 periscope. I mean, those are just some of the pieces of equipment that have got me some really great evidence.
Now, I got a challenge for you, gentlemen, because I'm the antithesis because I don't believe in the paranormal. Now, what are some experiences that you have that I'm sure you all came into this being skeptic, and something in your life must have been the catalyst to say, no, this is all real. What would you do to I wouldn't say convince me, but tell me your story of your transition to say, you know what, this is Bupkis to, yeah, this is real.
Jake filmed a movie about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Your movie, Jake. That's a big story.
Christian, next time we have a local investigation going on, we're going to bring you in one of our.
Please.
You got to see this.
Yeah.
You have to see it.
So
we were discussing, as funny as it sounds, during our Halloween specials, and we don't know how we were going to do it, but I think probably an audio recording or an EVP recording to do for the traveling TARDIS. We're going to take the traveling TARDIS to a haunted place and record an EVP and see if our audience would be, if we could change our audience's minds, who are people like me who are. I'm not saying that there's nothing out there.
that's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to do it. You got to come along and see it for yourself and experience it. Yeah.
And I've had experiences. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Central Florida, but the Greenwood, I think it's Greenwood Cemetery off of Goldenrod Road, where I think it's Greenwood Cemetery. Yeah, and basically they have something called the Moonlight Tour, which I love, because the one thing I loved about St. Augustine is not just doing the paranormal research, but to listen to the stories that they had, to just listening to what took place in here and why it might be paranormal. And I love those stories. And they do a Moonlight Tour, and I did have a paranormal experience where I was holding a flashlight, and I just said to the flashlight, if there's somebody out there, turn it off. And it went off. And I said, really? Turn it back on. And it came back on. And this happened 3 times. Now, were the batteries loose? Was I standing on a hill? Was I walking? Yeah, all that stuff was happening. But just for me to say that on demand and it to actually happen at the time that I asked these things, I can't put that. And basically I'm walking around the cemetery. So yes, there's it would be a lot of paranormal. But yeah, going back to the question, what was the moment? And I know, Jake, you have a full movie if you want to promote that out there, let people know and watch that. But
House 226.
Yeah, House 226. If you go, it's on YouTube. Check it out. It's free.
Jake, what's that about? Tell us, everybody, what it's
about.
Yeah,
exactly.
Really interesting story.
House 226 is basically about my experiences when I was a lot younger. When I was living in New Jersey at the time, I was basically almost possessed by a demonic presence that wanted to take my body. And I was visited.
Baby. It was female too, wasn't it?
It was a female, yeah. And
come on! Woo!
I mean, she was hot too. She had no head. She would come up
literally
to me,
hot.
Hey, baby cakes, come over here. No,
listen, what you do in your spare time, I don't want to know. And you made a movie about it too.
Yeah, in all seriousness, though, it was just like the dark presence that was it was in a corner, and it was slowly come. And I actually got extremely sick. I could barely walk at one point. I actually had really severe tremors. It wasn't until I was visited by a local pastor who basically did an exorcist over this dark entity that then allowed for me to slowly get better. I mean, it could have been a lot of different things, but that actually brought me more into that side, believing that there is a whole other side besides this world that we do live in.
Steve, did you have a weird experience that got you into this whole paranormal thing?
Yes. Well, before I've been doing this, I've been doing the paranormal for 13 years now. And I was always the type of person that if I was curious enough about something, I would check it out and see what it's about, to see for myself if there's something to it or not. And I was doing an investigation at Ashley's restaurant, and I had an older version of the spirit box. It was the SB7 spirit box, and I was, doing an investigation after hours in the ladies' room, and
Hello there.
That story before.
yes, you're sweeping at such a high rate of speed, creating a static charge around the device. I was asking a question. I said, "What room am I in?" And the sweeping stops, and then you hear "in a bathroom," crystal clear.
Whoa.
And yeah, and after the sentence got done, the sweeping started up again, and it scared the crap out of me. I'm not gonna lie, but some of the, I think one of the other situations I captured was on Memorial Day at Ashley's Restaurants a few years back. All the tables had flags on them sticking out of the salt and pepper, sugar holders. And the flag, in the middle of the night, I was doing an investigation using a full spectrum camera, and one of the flags started to wobble back and forth, and the flag lifted out of the holder and traveled about 5 inches and slammed. It bounced onto the table with force.
Steve, don't you have a video of that too?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, some of the things that you can capture in real time, like on the spirit box or on the thermal camera, which it's pretty amazing when you actually see something or experience something in real time. It's an adrenaline rush.
It is a little frightening.
Wow.
Just some of the stuff we've seen too. I mean, we haven't really seen anything, and I understand it's really rare to actually see like anything like paranormal, like a ghost or I don't know.
I'm seeing something paranormal right now. I mean, those eyes, bro.
But Jake's seen something, right? You did. Did you see the apparition when you?
But it was actually little Jake at Space Coast Comic Con. You remember?
Right. He said he saw something at the Comic Con.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He said he saw. What did he say? Like something like a white dress.
Yes.
And he saw that.
Yeah.
And he can sleep at night. He's not bothered by that.
No, he's just more spooked about Legos, man, than ghosts.
That scared the crap out of me. I don't know if we'll do that, but yeah, I mean, just some of the stuff we've seen in season 1 is going to be nuts, and season 2 is going to be even cooler.
Oh yeah,
some of these places
cooler.
We're going to like Savannah, and some of these other places are just mind-blowingly haunted.
Oh, we're going to go to the Keys too, aren't we?
Yeah, we got to go back to the Keys because
we're
going to visit that Robert doll.
I can't wait to visit that doll.
We're going to mess with him, and we have our Ouija board that we found in the cemetery.
Yes.
And we're going to bring that on the show. Steve doesn't want anything to do with it.
Wait. Y'all found a
Ouija we did.
board in a cemetery.
Yeah, we were digging out back after we got some info, and we went out and we started digging it, and then we found this ancient like witch board.
Okay, so someone buried this thing.
You
guys dug it up.
They didn't want it. They got scared. They buried it, and we have it. It's in my living room now.
Yeah, it's in Chuck's house, sitting around the table.
Cleaned it up. It looks pretty nice. Yeah.
And this is reason 1,078,000 on why I'm glad I live in Texas and not Florida.
People do some weird shit in Florida, that's for sure, man.
And I would be all about going on the location with you guys, but not if you want to break out the Ouija board.
You know what? We say a prayer before and after, and I think there's something about the chemistry of this group. I feel like we're protected. I know that sounds really strange, but I feel like a guardian angel or somebody's looking out for one or all of it. I know. Actually, we asked
all of us.
Yeah, I think we asked Jake's grandmother. Jake's grandmom.
Oh yeah, she dances on my shoulder and everything.
We had that Connect 360 thing, and it actually we asked if this is Jake's grandmom and you're here to protect him, step down onto this thing, and we have it on our channel too. And she kind of reaches down cautiously and steps onto this patio furniture, and she's like dancing with Jake.
Yeah.
Now,
and tell everybody where your channel is.
We're on YouTube most of our shows are on YouTube, but you search the Underpresence.
We'll be on Amazon pretty soon.
Yeah, we're going to do Amazon.
Subscribe to our channel.
We have to do the closed captioning and painted, but we're on Facebook, Instagram,
I'm totally doing it.
And the underpresence.com has links to everything too.
Beautiful.
It's pretty cool.
And as they were saying at the beginning of this, everybody, I used to watch a lot of the paranormal shows until they just got all ridiculous. And these guys take a fresh approach to it, but everything that you see is legitimate, and they're not gonna have the overreactions to a bug on film. They're going to try to debunk it first, and they have a little fun doing it. And they've definitely got some. I thought I had some big ones, but these guys got some big balls if they're going to be breaking out an old Ouija board that somebody buried in the backyard.
We've got more.
Yeah,
we got a couple surprises for season 2. The Ouija board is the lowest piece of it.
Yeah, I've been going to flea markets looking for classic or haunted items. I've been asking people that right the flea markets, is this item haunted? And they look at me like I'm almost crazy. And I'm like, hey, it has to be haunted.
Where do you see this? Just like everybody's got, these people are nuts.
I got to say this. There was, I remember a TV show. It didn't last. I think it was like 4 episodes, but it was the funniest paranormal show ever. And this would be something that probably somebody would film in the Space Coast. It was basically, I don't want to downplay it much, but on the word, but there was 3 rednecks who literally, I know, but these guys, whatever you were told as far as paranormal, the paranormal, I guess for the team or whatever, what they're called there, the term paranormal society, they would say, don't play with Ouija boards, don't do this, don't do that, don't do certain things.
We ain't scared.
Yeah, I know. These guys literally, they had they took one
magnet over there.
They took one of their friends, and I'm not kidding you, they buried him with a camera. They literally put him in a coffin, put dirt over him, and not only that, the guy on the other side was doing.
I'm gonna have to get my kids to do it.
So I mean, they pulled everything out, but it was funny to watch them. It was just hysterical. Now, whether they were joking or they were real, I have no idea. But I mean, where would you draw the line?
Well, that's the thing. You really don't know what's real because we don't really understand what's real. So I think, man, there's no bounds.
Well, I would think safety would be the biggest thing. You wouldn't put anybody at risk.
No.
But would you bury Jake with a camera?
Jake, we would bury Jake. Yeah. We have to dig a really big hole. Really big hole, man.
The beach.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll do it there.
I
think it's got to be a cemetery.
What was that?
Yes, that'd be better.
Yeah.
No. Cemetery, that would be good.
No, that scene from Creep Show where they have Ted Danson buried on the beach. If you remember that one up to his
I heard somebody died. They did it like last year. Somebody died. They actually buried somebody on the sand. They put his head under. I don't know what they were thinking, but then a wave came up and bro died.
Dang. Yeah.
Probably don't want to do that on a beach, man.
Yeah. Jake, he'll get out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's fun. It's fun too. We got a lot of exciting stuff for season 2. What's that?
Where someone used to be buried, and if they were buried alive, there's a little bell on the top of the headstone that they would ring the bell, and then the cemetery keeper would see or hear the bell jingling, and they would hopefully dig them up alive.
Steve, we should put bells in the cemeteries. We should install bells there.
Well,
that'd be cool.
That's where you got Saved by the Bell from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's back, Meredith. She's back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
She's back.
It's time for a giveaway, guys. We've got door prizes. So what I want to do is if you guys are a live viewer, put in a message wherever you are, and we're going to pick a random winner. We've got 2. I've got 2 t-shirts here. And yeah, look at that. We got Underpresence t-shirts.
Just like the one Steve is
and
wearing.
What's that?
I said just like the one Steve is wearing.
Very comfortable, very high
exactly like the one.
Sexy.
They are very nice shirts, and I'm actually sacrificing one of mine. I left it in the package, knowing that we were going to do door prizes. So
we'll get you another one.
I know. But so if you are a part of the live audience, leave a comment, and that way we can do a random drawing, and then I will DM you or message you and get your address so we can send those out. Back to you guys.
Meredith, I'm going to leave it with you for just a minute.
I like beans.
I think that was just his comment to let us know he's here.
I'm not rigging the.
It's
I'm
a
not rigging I'm not rigging the contest, but that should at least give a bell curve right there.
Hey guys, if you're indie creators, man, like and follow our channel, Underpresence. You can go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Share and comment too, man. I mean, you can even put
come to your house.
comments. I don't even care.
I just hammer.
Wait a minute, there's 22 of you, and I see 4
segues really
posts.
nicely.
We got Matthew Blocker, Frank, Ethan, and E, and the guy in the E says UK. I'm a big E.
I'm a
so
big E.
I,
What are you
yeah.
doing? What is I
Well,
like?
that
Being?
segues really nicely into indie originals. You guys, did we miss the contests?
No,
we're
or
still
is there
open.
still a deadline?
Yeah, it was originally April 15th, but
we pushed it back.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who can't afford it. A lot of people who are working in bars. A lot of their gigs were canceled. A lot of people
this
aren't
whole
able to get their
thing.
books delivered. Movies are not finished, so we lost a month. We decided to push it back. I'm still working on the date. I think it's going to be June 15th, and then we'll announce in July or August. But I'll have information. So yes, it's still open for indie authors, for indie musicians, for indie filmmakers,
indie comic creators. Yep.
Comic creators are the big one too. We don't have that many entries in comics because it's our first year in comic books.
Send me those comic books.
Great chance, a really good opportunity to say you're an award-winning comic.
You will
book
get a trophy.
That's right. You get a trophy and you get those bragging rights too. And
That's
if
right.
I'm looking in a comic book, I'm going to say there's comic book A that doesn't have an award. Comic book B is award-winning. Well, which one am I going to buy as a consumer? Which one am I going to
award-winning all day long?
I'm not going to be award-winning. Let me try this one first. So yeah, we're going to give constructive feedback. I think Jake's working on that too. You get a couple sentences. Hey, we liked what you did here. Maybe try to do this. And it's all for one. I think, what are they? $19?
Yeah.
And some of the other competitions are like $69 to $199 for one entry.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Ours are really low, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. Plus, all the winners on our website, and the winner, I think the grand prize winner gets like this $2,500 package where you get like a 45-minute interview on our podcast and our channels. Plus, you get some swag from our marketing company. We have a secret marketing company under Indie Originals. I can't tell anybody, Jake. It's killing me.
Don't tell them.
But we sell. It's
Go to the site.
That sells social media engagement. We sell social media engagement. I know it's underhanded. It's ridiculous. It's mean. It's probably
the way the world is, man.
But if you can't get it legitimately, what are you going to do?
Your Facebook.
You got to take it.
You got to take it, baby. That's what we're doing.
You walk up into the convenience store and say, give me all your likes.
Information about the contest, the prizes, the categories at www.indieoriginals.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere there too. So I'm excited. We've seen a couple of really good movies so far, right, Jake? And I've seen
I'm always
a couple
excited.
of the comic books we shot over to you already. You've read a couple of those, right?
Oh, yeah. There's some fantastic entries, man. You know, from the comics to the movies to the books, even to the music. You know, it's just last year they were good. This year they're even better. You know, this is even crazier. Awesome. You know, people step up their game big time.
I don't want to cut you guys off, but I meant Meredith. We got a question from Stephen Orth. He's asking, is there a schedule posted for what panels or when? So if you want to remind the audience where they can find times when people are performing.
That's rude.
Yep. If you go to
man.
I'm not listening to you, but when's the schedule, man? Thanks, Steven. Jake, where's your gun?
Well, yeah, where's Bocas? Bocas.
Bocas.
Now you can tell him where it is.
Jake, Santa's waiting for you. You've been a naughty boy.
Oh, I can't wait for Bocas too, brother.
You know, that reminds me, I have a sticky note that asks Christian about the chocolate-covered ants.
Here it comes.
Why is it sticky?
About what? Chocolate-covered ants.
Sticky
chocolate-covered ants.
What does that mean?
I have no idea what word. I think I saw that, and I'm like, what? I said they're crunchy. That was it. That was my response.
So you've tried them?
No, I have not tried them.
Why do you know they're delicious?
Crunchy? They're ants. When you step on them, they go crunch. So I'm assuming melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
They probably take some of the crunch out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, I've never.
Well, to answer Stephen's question, Stephen Orth, you can find the schedule on geekoutvc.com and scroll down. You're going to see a lot of the profiles for our special guests. And if you click on the sign that says schedule events, that'll take you right there.
Oh, who's up
Back
next?
to you guys. Focus.
Bocas.
Focus 2.
Focus 2.
Focus 2.
What's going on
Focus
with
2
Focus
is
2?
coming. When is that coming?
Okay, so the script is about 99% done. We're going to start filming sometime this year, if once we get past this coronavirus pandemic and we can start going out to actual sites again. We're going to start filming. Focus 2 basically is going to be based in Christmas, and Christian's going to be playing a special character this time.
Ooh. What's
I'm not
Christian
saying.
playing?
No, I'm not saying.
The human ant?
Saint Nick who eats ants.
Oh, that's hot.
Eat ants. Okay, fine.
In a bikini.
Hey, Jake, will a lot of the crew be
In the
returning for
beginning.
Focus 2?
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few characters returning from the previous film.
Will there be a zombie scene film soon? We're going to need zombies for this film?
We're going to need zombies actually for the human virus.
And we're going to do a dance scene again in Focus 2? We'll try to get this in the film this time?
We're going to get I want a dance scene for Santa Clauses.
Whoa, that's what I'm talking about. There's a bunch of those. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to increase my salary on that one, sir.
Do that.
2 bananas for you.
Okay, 2.
And a bag of chocolate covered.
They better be yellow, not green this time.
And toilet paper as an incentive.
And toilet paper. Nice.
Believe.
From the dollar store, 1 ply. Yes.
I'll just do it for my previous job. Just go and boop, boop, take out the big.
Nice.
Yeah, we have that coming up, and then, like I said, we're still filming the human virus, and we're still doing Underpresence filming as well. So we're working on season 2, and once this pandemic hit, me and Chuck and Steve, we stopped filming. It was just like wow. So it left us out in the woods.
Yeah. It's all good. We'll catch up, and it's we got a little bit more time to plan, so we look bright. You know what I mean?
And we can't wait to show you guys the Ouija board that we found, man. You're going to be blown away by that. Yeah.
Steve's going to sit that one out.
Yeah.
It's too spooky. Yeah. Who's up next, Meredith? I think we're done. Are we done here?
Are we done here?
Yeah, we're at 11:30, right?
It's 11:30.
No,
Wow.
We're okay. We're what?
Oh, we're up to noon.
You're up to noon.
All right.
We're up to noon.
So let's keep talking.
Let's do it.
All right.
Well, gentlemen, I got a question for you. Since we're talking about the thing out there, when did it finally hit you? When did it finally hit you that this was happening? I'm sure there was a moment of denial, and then at some point you went to the store, you went outside.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. What happened? What finally said?
3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, when I was about to go filming, or maybe it's even 4 weeks ago, when I was about to go out filming for a scene for the human virus, and I got told to postpone filming because it involved too many people, and we're starting a social distancing program that we have going. I actually got a phone call by the police.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So I was like, "Whoa."
I think it would be an impressive movie.
That's not good when they. That's not good when the police know your first name, Jake.
Jake.
I mean, Wayne Ivey knows my name. A bunch of other cops know my name, and I'm like, yo, I know. I hang out with 80 people. I can't help it. I'm a
Jake,
criminal.
I think you actually, for the first time, you actually applied for a filming permit.
That's what happened. I actually filmed for a filming permit. I actually went legal. I went legal, and then
See
what happens?
Yeah. I don't think it would make for a scary movie if the zombies are 6 feet apart coming at you. it just doesn't look right.
No, it don't. Not at all.
Don't catch him. Whatever you do, don't catch him.
I was hearing stories that this coronavirus, this COVID-19 thing may have something to do with infecting your brain. And I'm like, oh, there we go. This zombie apocalypse just became real.
Yeah.
They're still investigating that. Something to do with lesions in the brain. And they're still developing.
I mean, there's still a lot of mysterious things about this virus, and it's pretty much it's pissing me off, more or less to say, you know. But I'm kind of a busy guy. I like to keep on doing a lot of stuff at one time, and the moment you know, it's like taking away my freedom. I hate my freedom being taken.
Well, that's the thing. The whole thing. You circle back to indie originals. We were just taking care of other creators, and we said to ourselves last year, like, you know what? We need to prove that we are indie creators in all these fields as well.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing about it. We are indie creators. I mean, Chuck, he makes music, he sings, he writes, he even draws.
And we have movies under our belt. So now we
make movies.
Crazy. I mean, this craziness of filing a movie permit and getting denied at the last minute, and all the scheduling and the distribution and the closed captioning nightmare involved.
Oh my God, closed captioning is a nightmare.
I had no idea. So now that we've done this over the last year, we've got a couple of TV shows and a couple of movies. We kind of understand the process now.
Yeah.
And I think we can kind of address people who enter our competition. Now we can identify, we can empathize with all the troubles and weirdness that they go through when they create these things. And I think it makes us better judges, because there's a lot of competitions out there who have no idea. They've critiqued movies for years, but they've never made one. And I don't think you can really understand the passion and the blood, sweat, and tears that are involved until you actually make one. And what a pain in the ass it is to make a movie. I mean, I love it to death. I love it. I keep doing it, but it is a lot of work. The editing
alone, man.
It's a lot of work.
For a full feature on Bocas, I mean, between the both of us, we must have 400 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I sat there for hours editing a movie for about 2 months straight, and then I shot it over to Chuck, and then Chuck took another several weeks to edit it, his version of it, and we just kept going back and forth editing like crazy. Yeah.
So you've done the comic books, Jake? So
I've done comic books. I've done, Space Coast Comics, which I used to sell ads for it, physical ads. I used to get like bars, used to buy ads, pizza shops, and I used to draw the ads, and then we would create ads for like hippie shops. And I did that for years, selling ad space, and they were free. I just distributed for free all over the place. That's how I met Christian. Christian could tell you about that. Who I made a little joke when he had that little post earlier today, talking about, what was the first time you met me? I was screaming in the middle of a terrible convention.
Yeah, he was. That was
programs for sale.
Well, first of all, let me give a few shout outs on the chat. A couple of geeks, Elite in Town. If you're in the cosplay, these guys are nice and sweet. You got to check them out. Elite in Talent on a couple of geeks. They put out. You want to check them out on the Instagram. Garrett has been chatting away too of the Hanging with Web show, which he's doing his CyberCon next weekend, and he says Bocas ain't afraid of no virus, except for maybe the human virus. And Garrett keeps on going, and it says these guys work so hard getting it done. So yeah, props to that out there. But yeah, the first time I met you, Jake, was at Space Coast Comic Con, and I forgot what was going on, but you were just running down the middle of the hall shouting your lungs out. That's, I think,
Jake does that a lot. It's normal.
Yeah, exactly. If you've been to a Space Coast, you haven't met Jake unless he's not able to speak at the end of the convention because of all the shouting and stuff that he's been doing and talking.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. A lot of people, there's either two ways. You either talk to me or you don't talk to me. Because either people see me, they're scared, and then they don't talk to me. But I always say, if someone's like, well, I've never met you before. I'm like, I've seen you about a dozen times. What are you, blind? I'm like 7 foot tall, you moron.
Well, most of them are just people going up to me, going like, "Who's he cosplaying?"
Yeah.
I got a quick question, guys, and I don't know if this has already been asked. If it has, you can answer it again for me. How did the Underpresence meet?
We met. We had a radio show about, it must be 3-4 years ago with somebody else.
Yeah.
And the co-host on the show, Karen Wooden, was interested in doing paranormal investigation. She was a big fan of the shows that are on, I think, the Travel Channel. I don't remember what they're all called. I've seen them once or twice.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. They're stupid. But yeah, she was interested in doing paranormal investigations, and she knew Ashley's was haunted. And somehow she met you, Steve. Somehow, I don't know where she met you.
Well, I was actually the very first host on their first guest on their show.
Oh, I should remember that.
Yeah.
So you probably will. Well, thank you. And how did Karen meet you?
Who's that? What's that?
Karen Wooden. How did you meet Karen Wooden?
If I can remember that far back, she might have actually came into Ashley's and maybe spoke to me about appearing on their show as a guest. If I can remember that far back.
Oh, I thought he meant Ashley's Furniture there for a minute.
Ashley's Restaurant.
Yeah. So Steve came in and he was on the radio show, and I think this guy's pretty interesting. And why don't we go out and film something at Ashley's? And we got this ragtag team of people together, and we all met at Ashley's one night. And you have to pay Ashley's to investigate there, which is a little weird. But
hey, they got to make money one way or another.
Yeah, so they shut it down. You come in after hours, and somebody hangs around and kind of chaperones you, and we kind of do our stuff. And we had a really, really interesting investigation that first time, including probably Steve, and you could back me up on this, probably the most clear and authentic EVP I've ever heard.
Yes.
You asked, Elizabeth was there. A woman named Elizabeth was on her team. And she goes, and Steve's there with the SB11, the spirit box machine, which generates this white noise and this EMF stuff that kind of attracts spirits. And Ashley's is haunted. It's well documented and proven that there's something going on there. We don't know what, but Elizabeth talks in the machine. And Steve says, "You want to ask a question?" And Elizabeth's like, "I don't believe this. What's my name?" And it's like, Elizabeth. Oh, and the whole place just like clear as day. Like seconds later, and everybody just like. And we have that on our channel too. We have that all videotaped and all documented.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And right there, man. I'm like, there's something here. I said, this is the coolest because there's no way to fake that.
I mean, there's no USB ports on the device or nothing. I mean, that's clearly
this thing's sweeping at what? So you'd have to, if you were to fake that, you'd actually have a radio transmitter, and it would have to continuously be saying Elizabeth, 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 the same way all the time. And how you would actually line it up with that particular moment at 150 milliseconds? No way to do it.
Right. No,
I tried to figure out how to fake that because there's no way to do it.
And in case you missed it, guys, the way to catch the Underpresence show is on their YouTube channel. Just search for the Underpresence or go to the underpresence.com, and that has all their links there. And I know we've had some new people checking in, and so Chuck, give them an idea one more time of what is the Underpresence and the show.
Got you. Thank you for that opportunity, Matthew. We're a paranormal investigative show, but we're a little bit different. So we watched a couple of the other shows, and we're like, "Wow, these things are really boring." Everybody's like, "Oh, did you see that? There's a speck of dust in the air, man. It scared me," or "Something touched me." And we're like, "This is crap, man. These guys are actors, and they're trying to fake this stuff." But being at Ashley's, we knew that there's something more to it. There's actually some legit paranormal stuff out there. So we said, why don't we get this team together? Steve was our technical expert. He's really good. He's got a ton of equipment and very familiar. He's been doing it for 13 years. Wow. And that's cool. We got the technical aspect, the investigative aspect down. But what do we do to make this show different and interesting? So Jake Estrada and I were working on a bunch of projects together. You're like, you know what? We should come up with a couple of characters. So we talked about it, hashed it out over a bunch of weeks, and Jake said, you know what? I could play this really dark ex-priest, and we'd flesh out the story like a drama over a couple of seasons. And I said, well, I do this crazy priest character. I've always wanted to play this in something, and I didn't know what to do. And I said, this might actually be
1,000 voices.
This might actually be the opportunity for me to kind of flesh out this character too. So I play a priest who has his own dark story, and our characters meet up on the show, and we kind of bump heads, and we're at each other's throat the whole time. And it's really fun to actually play this thing out. So it's a drama/documentary. So we've got this drama with these fictional storylines about the characters, which have nothing to do really with the investigations, which are completely legitimate and debunked, just like actually more debunked than most of these shows you see on cable TV. So it's a drama-mentary. And I don't know if it's kind of like a new slant on a reality show, really, because these reality shows are fake. So
yeah, they're all fake.
Figure out we came up with the word drama-mentary, but I don't know if
I like it.
It's weird, right?
You too.
So yeah, when everything gets kind of weird and everything gets kind of boring on the show, Jake and I, with our characters, we fill in those dead spots, banter and a little craziness that people find interesting to watch.
And say you guys have the key right there, in my opinion, because that is exactly where those other shows go so terribly wrong. They've got these stations that are putting bucks behind them, or networks, and then they got these producers that are working for the network, and they go, oh, it's too boring, you got to go back in there and make something happen. And then that's where we get all the, ooh, a speck of dust. And so you guys coming up with these characters to keep the drama going and to give a little entertainment instead of bullshit, that's what is gonna, I really think, is gonna set you guys apart. I mean, it does set you apart. Not going to set you apart, but folks, they're going to be on Amazon very soon. Or I won't say very soon. You guys said soon, but this is another one of those indie kind of shows, guys, that here at Geek Insider we really like to get behind, because as you can see, you got talent behind this and some thought went behind it. They didn't just set out to do another investigative show that is going to, if they get picked up, they're going to have to resort to bullshit in order to keep the money coming in. And as long as the writing is fresh, that's one thing that's always key to me, man, is a good unique angle or a good storyline that takes a fresh look, or of course, just a unique storyline altogether. And then of course when you throw in the paranormal, man, that just all mixes together for a great combination. And you guys keeping it real. I'm going to tell you now, since this is your first season, keep it that way. Don't ever, sell out. Don't jump the shark. Keep the
jump the shark. I love
it. Keep the paranormal aspect of it real. If you don't get anything, you don't get anything, and that's what's gonna be legit. If y'all are in a location, y'all don't get shit, but we get a funny storyline out of you two guys. Great, all the great. And Jake, buddy, me and you, we're gonna have a beer sometime together, man, because you have my sense of humor. I've said before you were even on camera, you were down in the green room, and I saw you doing all kinds of just shit back there, man.
This is mild, Matthew. It's
mild. He's toned it down for us.
Yeah, this is the toned down version of me right here.
It is. Guys, I actually have to go now because we're doing recording.
No.
Wait. I want to let Meredith know, because this audience will be the first to know who we're recording, literally, for Doctor Who on the Traveling TARDIS podcast. A lot of people have been talking about, if anybody is a Whovian out there, understands that a lot of the Cartmel master plan has been thrown around out there as far as why the season has been going the way it's been going. Well, we're going to be interviewing the man who just made the Cartmel master plan, Andrew Cartmel, for Doctor Who. So in about 13 minutes, we're going to be talking to Andrew Cartmel. We're going to be talking about the Cartmel master plan, what he thinks is the direction of what Doctor Who's going in there, and it'll leak out sometime this month. So, guys, I have one question for you, and this will be the last question before I go. What is the one thing that you debunked in your investigations that you wish you hadn't debunked? Like, it would have been better if we just left it alone like this. Some kind of thing that you heard, or something that was like, I wish we hadn't done it that way.
I think we were at the Casadega Hotel.
Yeah.
It's this really weird, bizarre place where all these psychics and mediums kind of hang out and basically prey on lonely old women is what they do.
Yeah.
There's definitely some presence there. There's some weird stuff going on. I don't think it's what everybody thinks it is.
Outside of the hotel, things are going on more.
Yeah, I think so too.
The fairy trail.
The fairy trail.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story. But there was this part where we have a bunch of these. We use these hunting cameras because they record at 4K and they're motion sensitive, and they've got all these UV lights built, or IR lights been there. Is it IR or no, they're IRs, right? I think they're IR, Steve.
IR.
But anyway, it lights up the whole room when something moves. And we're sitting there. I think Jake and Steve are in a separate room in Casadega.
Yeah, we're in a separate room.
And I'm watching the bed on this thing because I review all this crap afterwards. It's hours. It's just a pain in the ass to review it. But and I'm watching the bed sink. There's nobody on that side of the bed, and the bed sinks. I'm like, did you see? I played it back like 30 times. Like, what the fuck is that? Something just sat on the bed. And then we hear an EVP, and it says, "Did you see that?" It's an EVP. It says, "Did you see?" This thing sits on the bed. I'm like, holy crap! So I look, there was another camera running a wide angle. And I look on the other side at the same time, and I synced up the sound. And at the same time, Jake sat on the other side of the bed.
Yeah.
I was actually pulling the covers. Somehow it made the other side dip. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the physics of that, but it was at the same exact moment, and I had to debunk it. Chris. I couldn't let.
What about the devil's chair as well?
So that was stupid too.
Ah.
I didn't really get anything there. Did you feel anything there, Steve or Jake?
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, I felt it just felt like a cemetery.
Yeah,
It didn't. I didn't feel any like I was being watched or anything like that. That the commuters were reading normal.
If you want to go for the views and the eyeballs, you're going to make some crap up there. But I felt nothing. I didn't see anything there at all. Devil's chair. Was I sorry I debunked it? No, because we're legit. We want to be legit.
That's what we did.
I think
we
it was
got enough real evidence that we don't need the fake stuff.
No. I'm looking for sorry, but more like you were disappointed. Like you really wanted this to be the thing, and just like,
yeah. I mean, I wanted the devil to whisper in my ear in the devil's chair, and he didn't do nothing, man.
Yeah. We dared him.
I know.
We pretty much dared everybody. We don't care. Wait till you see this Ouija board, man. This is gonna be great.
Oh, dude. Well, guys, thanks, Meredith. I'll be back a little bit later, so I will see you later hosting after we're done with the interview with Andrew. Guys, break a leg. Thank you so much, and Focus 2 coming soon. Love you guys.
See you later, bro.
Yes.
Bye, Christian. See you in a little bit.
See you later, Christian.
So another question that I had, and we can start whoever wants to speak up first, because I know you guys have pretty extensive backgrounds and quite a variety. Kind of like me, I say I'm a jack of all trade, a master of none, but I've got I got little knowledge in a lot of areas. So one of you kick off. Where did you start out at? And just tell us about you.
Me, I started in comic books. I started creating comic books. I had a passion for comic books since an early age, and that's how I basically